Hey, what's up, guys? Pandadi Power here. Today, I just want to do a little video about Emby and to show you exactly what is Emby and how you can make your own Netflix from home, finally, on your personal computer and super easily. I just want to mention that I don't have any contributions from MB teams or directly from this company. MB is like it's like in fact a client server software package that is giving you the opportunity to share all your files, media files. So basically the videos and music that you want on different clients. So basically you will install a server application on some sort of devices that we will see together here. And you will be able to stream all the content you define in your server to your different clients. And it's wonderful. It's working well. And so welcome in this first video on the different tutorials that I am going to do. It's an excellent product. I don't know if you know what is Plex, but definitely it's a very good competitor uh, of Plex, finally. And what I love, because I tested both, I tested Plex and Emby. I am using Emby on a daily basis, and I don't use Plex at all because in fact, I think that with big libraries, MB is more optimized than Plex, but it's my personal opinion, and it's only my opinion, you know. So if you have a different opinion, you can mention that into the comments. And so basically, I will show you the different server because MB is working as a client server. So basically, you install the server first, and after that, you install the different clients depending on the support and media you have. So basically, we can just jump into the concrete topic here, and I wanted to show you first the MB website. So on the MB website, you have the section download, and on the download section, you can basically it's written here, download MB, but you have different parts. So you have the MB server here. Here you can see that you can install the server on different system. You have Windows, Linux, NAS devices. If you have if you have a a NAS device, you can install there. You have the Mac version. You have the Docker. Personally, for the purpose of the test here on this video, I will install the Windows version, but for the day-to-day, I am using the Docker version on the Linux environment. So you can install directly on Linux, on Ubuntu, on CentOS or whatever, Red Hat. But you can also use the Docker system, and it's easier to maintain that. If you want, I can do another video, and I'm pretty sure I will do another video because this video is like the first video that I want to do as a tutorial, as a first tutorial. But there will be other tutorials to show you how to proceed with MB and how to optimize and use MB. Today, this first video is more about how to install uh, basically MB, the MB server side, and the different options you have. Because as a I will say as a user, you will have to define some different options, and it's what is very good with MB because you can customize it very deeply. So it will become exactly what you want it to be. So it's very interesting. And you have the FreeBSD and the Shield. You can install also the server on the Shield, NVIDIA Shield. So For the TV apps, so you have a lot of TV apps. You can install everything you can have today, like Android TV, the Amazon Fire TV, the Shield Android TV, um, the Apple TV also. You have the Chromecast, you have the Roku, you have the Emby Theater, which is basically what you install on your Windows, and also you can use it through HTML5. So I will show you how it works, because you will be able to use the HTML5 version of Emby Theater and basically use it everywhere on any devices that is supporting the HTML5. You have the LG Smart TV, Smart TV Samsung's version. You have also the PS4 and Xbox One, so basically everywhere you want. For MB for Windows Media Center, I know it's still working, but the fact that you don't have Windows Media Center available after Windows 7 or 8, I think Windows 7 is like the last version officially having the Windows Media Center, and you can force or tweak your Windows 8 to have the Windows Media Center. But anyway, it's like discontinued. So I wouldn't recommend to go in that way. And instead, you can use the MB Theater for Windows. That is a very major product that you can use to access your server and your different, I would say, video libraries and things like that. You have the Xbox 360. You have the MB add-ons for Kodi. You have the PS3, so the PlayStation 3, and for the mobile, you have, I think, everything available here. The HTML5, because you can access, as I said, the MB web client through the HTML5, so you can access through any mobile devices. You have the Android, so the official Android app available there. You have also the iOS version, so iOS and iPad. So you can download on iPhone or iPad. The Windows 10 also. So there is a special app that you can have through the Windows 10 App Store, basically. And you have also the Windows Phone, but like the Windows Phone is like discontinued. So anyway, I don't know if you still have a Windows Phone, but it's still available, but I think it will disappear soon. So basically, you have all this wonderful server version and in the client version. So let's go. We can download here the Windows version. I am using the version, the Windows version for this purpose because I am on the laptop here, right here. And so I am recording my laptop. Usually I am using a VM, a virtual machine, but for the purpose of this test, I will just use directly my laptop. So I will download because I want to get the very last version of MB because I am part of the beta channel. But I just want to warn you about the beta channel. Beta channel is like, it's not the dev version, so you won't have all the last code, last line of code, um, pull requested or merge on the different developer branch. But at the same time, you will have some sort of risks concerning uh, your videos, music, and the way the software is working. If you want something that is working perfectly without any issues, I recommend to go with the download NB server directly because it's like it's like the release, the official releases, and usually you have an official version increase, an official release every several months. So with that, you will have the best stability. It will be very stable. If you are going with the beta channel, I will show you right now because I want to show you all the last options you can have. Definitely, you can run into trouble with your libraries, your videos, your music. You can have anything happening there, and you can have some disruption into the services and the streaming itself. What I mean here is that sometimes the stream could be broken. You can have some sort of bugs, like picture not displayed, video not working well, or whatever. So yeah, definitely. I just want to say that before continuing. So I will use the beta channel here because I like to take some risks, and definitely it's very well explained there. If you participate into the Emby server beta releases, they do not recommend switching the same Emby server installation between release channels. If you decide to switch to stable, we recommend a fresh installation. So it's another thing, because the last version that you can get into beta could have some new options compared to the stable releases. And if you come back to the stable release, you can run into trouble too, and you have to do a fresh installation. So basically, it's what it's saying. So I am going to download that. I am going to install that. It shouldn't be long. Okay, so run. So it will download all the NB, I would say the NB package for installation. For Windows, I will do, as a reminder, I will do, so I need the runtime. Okay, I need the runtime. So as an information, and as I said before, I will do another video. Okay, setup failed. Another version of this is already installed. Okay, it's fine. So everything is going well because it detected that I had already the last .NET framework. So I didn't need any new installation. So basically, it's downloading the package, extracting the package, it's installing the software. So I will have, at the end of the installation, I will show you, I will have an access. So you have an access through the browser directly, because everything is HTTP. So you can access through HTTP to the server side, and you can customize everything through the browser. So I will show you that part. And I will try to explain you all the different options that you can have. Okay, so as you can see, the Emby server is running here. Basically, the default so the default address is like the IP or the host name. If you're on Windows, it's like the NetBIOS name. With the okay, it wants to install another thing here. So the Visual C++. Okay, so I needed it because I haven't it before. So basically, it's running on the IP of your computer. And if you click here, okay, you have to allow, because we are on Windows, but it's the same on the Linux distribution, because on the Linux distribution you have to open the firewall port, and it will direct you directly to the wizard of Emby for the first configuration. So basically, as you can see, I am running on the localhost. It could have been 127.0.0.1. And the default port for Emby, but you can change it after, is the 8096. So I will go through. Okay, you can say allow, block, whatever, you will receive things like that. So the preferred display language, because I am doing this video in English, I will say English United States. Next. I will do, I don't know, testing act. I can say like root, okay? Okay, root. So I will define a password. I will say 1234 because it's just a test, okay? Don't put 1234, put something more complicated, okay? It's just a good advice from me. So the optional link your Emby Connect account. If you have already used Plex before, in fact, it's like having an online account on Emby. So if you are going on emby.media.com, so if we're going there, media, so you're going on, okay, I am going through, in fact, it's not .com, sorry, it's emby.media. So if you're going to emby.media and you're going on sign in, I think, okay, it's not the good way to do that, I think. Okay, you have new users, okay. You're going here. Here is the online access. So basically the Emby Theater access that you can say, I am a new user, I want to sign up. And here you will open, basically you will open, so you create a username, an email associated, password, security check, the CAPTCHA, whatever. So you create your account there. And after you use this account into, sorry, here, directly here. But it's optional because you can, it's what I like compared to Plex, because Plex you have to open online accounts, and even if you want to, to give access to friends or family, these people have to open an account on Plex. And here it's optional. So it's a little bit more complicated because you have to configure everything, but once it's done, it's very easy to connect on a daily basis. So basically, you don't need that. But if you want to use that, for sure, it will give you something simpler to connect to your server finally, because it will go through all the NAT and system like that. You won't have to open your port in your router and things like that, because this system will handle everything here. But I would say that we are going through the hard way, and we want to use this Emby Connect system. So you click on next. So basically you will add a media library here at this point. So I want to I will show you the advanced settings if I have. So I want to have a library of movies, okay? And I have the display name movies, so not very difficult for now. You can change it and you will have something else. Here you will choose the folder where your movies are, okay? So I have something on the C. I have like movies, and for the purpose of this test, I have only Badass 2. I'm sorry, it's not. I will say it's not a movie that I like so much, but it's just for the purpose of the test, okay? And here, just for your personal information, it's a super good option here. I like it. It's optional, but in fact, you can use the shared network folder, the UNC, basically. So it's written here and it's very easy to understand. If this folder is shared on your network, supplying the network share path can allow Emby apps on other devices to access media files directly. So let's say here it's super simple. Let's say you are sharing this directory here. You're sharing it. So it's accessible through, I don't know, server, okay, the UNC path. So if you define that the shared network folder is like // server /movies, if I am using a computer that is connected to the server, the same server on the same router through the Wi-Fi or through the cable, okay, the network cable, it will directly play the movie through this UNC. So basically through the network. So it won't have to pass through the server directly, and the server send the streaming to the other computer connected on the same network, because the computer will use the direct path to the movie or the TV show or whatever. And it's very interesting, especially if you have like a lot of people at home using the same server. It's super easy because it's offloading. It's offloading your server a lot because it's going directly to the path. And it's something that I recommend to you if you have a lot of people um, using your server, basically. Okay. So you say okay, so it will scan this folder here. You have different library settings like preferred metadata download language. If you're not mentioning anything, I think it will just take the English, the main language, in fact. For the country, the same. Preferred image download language. If you want to specify it, you can prefer the embedded titles over file names when it's not finding any internet metadata for that. You can enable the real-time monitoring. So every time you will add a movie in this folder here, basically, it will detect that there is a change on this folder, and it will automatically launch a scan to find the new metadata for the new movies. And you have the movie metadata downloader that you can use. I will use the Open Movie database also. You can say, hey, refresh it every 30, 60, 90. You have the metadata savers. So if you're not choosing the NFO is to have a better compatibility with XBMC and the CUDI if you are using these two softwares, but on my side, I don't care. So it will use like XML files. So it's not an issue at all. And for the movie image fetchers, you can use um, different website, and it will download automatically all the information from there. You can save the artwork into media folders. If you're not checking this checkbox, it will just download everything directly into your the Emby directory installation. Download images in advance. It's like if you are checking that, it will when it's going its library scan, it will be downloading also the different images. If you're not doing that, it won't download any images. And when a client is going into the details for this movie or this TV show or something else, it will download at this time from the different metadata from the different websites. The thumbnail images, so it will create an images that will allow Emby apps to display graphical scene selection values. So it's CPU intensive, and it will require a lot of gigabytes of space, so I don't recommend it. And you have also the different thumbnail image interval and create thumbnail image during the library scan if you want to generate them here, and save the thumbnail images into media folders if you want. The subtitle download, so it could grab some subtitles automatically. Also, it will save as an ASS or some other formats from Open Subtitles website. Concerning the subtitles, it will require, you can have the option to require a hatch match with filter subtitles to include only those that have been tested with the exact video file. So it will check if the file, if the subtitle downloaded has been done for the file you have into your library, basically. So you can skip if the default audio track matches the download language, skip if the video already contains embedded subtitles. It's a good option because sometimes you don't want to download everything because you have already everything into the MKV. If you have some videos with MKV, I'm pretty sure you have all the subtitles there already included. And you don't want to download basically, you don't want to download if you have already there. The minimum resume percentage, the maximum resume percentage, and the minimum resume duration in seconds. Basically, it's all parameters that is allowing you to customize the way the media are played. So if you're playing a video and you reach the 5% of the total video, it will consider that you are playing the video. And if you just stop the video playback, it will say, hey man, you stopped at this time, so you have the option to resume at this time. So it's a very good option, and I want to be totally honest. These parameters are fitting all kind of situation, so I won't change anything. After you click on OK, so yeah, we have our first library here, and we just have a TV show library here. I will call it TV shows. Super simple. I don't want to change that. The TV shows here. So I have Russian doll for the test. I won't change anything. It's exactly the same kind of personalization. So you can add the season metadata downloader, episode metadata. Yeah, you can choose whatever you want here. The info file, save artwork into the media folder, etc. So it's the same kind of I would say options that we already saw with the movies. So after that, after adding all your libraries here, you click on next. So the metadata language, you can define here that you want English and United States. You can say that you want to allow remote connections to this Emby server from outside. So everything coming from another IP address than the local one will be just blocked or not, authorized or not. And you have the enable automatic port mapping, so basically the OPNP. And I won't touch anything here. It's not an issue. I accept the terms of service next, and we are done. All right, we are done. So now we are going on the main page. I will log with root that has the password, I think 1234, right? If I remember well, I sign in there. And yeah, everything is here. Everything is available. So if I'm going into movies, I have my badass 2. I have all the information like the poster. I have okay, so it downloaded automatically. It's like a plugin that you can have. So basically, it downloaded I would say music, a theme related to the movie. And for some movies, it will download also the video theme. So you will have in the background the video playing, and it's really, really cool. So you have all the cast and crew. I am sorry here because I have only one movie for the test purpose. That if you click on the Dlna Treasure, for instance, you will have all the biography, and you will have all the information coming from IMDb, the MovieDB, and sometimes Wikipedia also if it's not finding there. And so with all this information, you will have all this information for all actors, and you will be able to say, hey, this guy had a role also as an actor in this other movie. So you will have all the movies and TV shows displayed there, and you will be able to say, hey, this guy also played into Badass 1. So I click on the video and I'm going directly on the detail page. On the detail page, you will have all the information here, like the 5.6. So this notation is coming from IMDb. The year of the movie production. Okay, when the movie was made, you will have the length, and what is very cool, you have the rate for this movie. So you will be able to say, okay, it's like PG, public general, it's like PG-13 or things like that. If you have kids, it's very good because you will be able to say, okay, this movie is good for my kid or not. If your kid is like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, you will have all this information downloaded. You will have also the description, like the punchline of the movie. You will have, okay, it's French because I think it was getting, so I have to refresh metadata here. I will refresh everything, and I think it will become English. If it's not the case, I am in trouble. No, it's becoming English. Okay. So Vietnam, Viet, Franc, Vega, now Rams in East, LA, whatever. So you will have all the information. The director also. You can click on the Craig mouse and see what movies he did as a director. And you will have the added on this date, the links for the different metadata providers. You will be able to choose, I have only one audio language here. So you have on the video, you have the resolution, the format, etc. You will be able to choose between different audio languages when you have. It's not the case for this movie, but when you have like an MKV, and the different subtitles, you can say off or choose another video. You have all the cast and crew. You have the media information for the audio subtitle. When you have different audio languages, you will have different columns displayed, and you will have the different subtitles, like different columns also displayed if you have more than one subtitle. After that, you click on play. You can play through the browser. The video is starting. And I'm sorry because my laptop is like super slow. Okay, so I will just turn out the subtitles. I'm sorry it's French, but yeah.
C'est à toi de choisir. Faut lui fermer sa gueule à ce connard.
Overview of what's happening here. You can jump at specific time in the timeline, and it will dynamically update the ends at here. If I am going like at 50 minutes, you say, hey, you will finish at this time, and it updated it very quickly. If you are going back, you're clicking on back here. You will have the possibility, and you're going on the home here at home. You will have the possibility to say, hey, continue watching. Okay, I am watching this and I want to go back to 50 minutes when I stopped the playback. So it's very cool. For the TV shows, it's like exactly the same thing. You're clicking on the TV show you want. I would just refresh to have something more linked to the current language, that is United States English. So I'm just refreshing the page now after refreshing the metadata. And as you can see, I have all the information. So, okay, it's a little bit broken here because I don't know what's happening. Okay, now it's better because it needed the time to refresh everything. So you have, for the TV shows, it's like exactly the same. The main difference is like you have the number of seasons here. You have a different date because, like, for this TV show Russian Doll, it's like ongoing, so they are producing some different episodes and seasons. Um, you have also, and it was the case for the movies, but I didn't mention it, but after you will be able, if you have a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows, you will be able to say, okay, I just want to check the comedy, all the TV shows that I have in comedy, drama, fantasy, and you have a lot of different genres like sci-fi and things like that. The difference with the TV between the TV shows um, and the movies finally is like you have it's all split into seasons because you have different seasons in different episodes, and you can click on the season. I have only one season here, and you will have the detail here, and you can go here on the detail. And what is very cool with the seasons here is like, okay, I am playing this first episode. Okay, I will show you. So I'm playing this first episode. Um, okay, I don't know. I think okay, it's super heavy, but it's working. Okay, it's super slow. So I will just go at the end. Let's say I watched the first episode. Okay, I watched the first episode. I think it will record that. So basically, it's watched. Okay. So if I am going here and I am going, it's appearing here already, but it's more. You can go on suggestions here, and it will say, hey, here is the next step. Okay. And if I am going to Russian Doll, directly the TV show here, it will say play the next step, and it will play the second episode because I already watched the first one. It's already. It's also um, saving your playback position. So if you're, it's like the movies. If you are finishing or stopping, I would say stopping. If you are stopping your playback right in the middle of an episode, it will say, "Hey, do you want to continue to watch this episode?" So it's very useful when you don't have the time and you're just watching an episode on the lunchtime, for instance. Let's say you are working, you have the iPhone app, you're connected to your server, you're playing, you're streaming, like the first episode of Russian Doll, and let's say your boss is coming, saying, "Hey, I need this, and stop right now what you are doing because I need this into 10 minutes." So you have to stop your playback, and Emby will save the position of your playback. So it's very useful. I will show you quickly. Um, Here you have the Manage Emby server section. You click on that and you have a wonderful dashboard here. So basically you will have your in-home LAN access. So the version of your Emby, the Emby you are using. Here I am using the 4.3.0.14. It's saying, hey, restart your Emby server because I have a pending installation here. I installed the new version of Dlna, so I need you to restart your server. In that case, we won't do that. You have the active devices here. You have the activity here, like I connected, I played this, and things like that. When you have a lot of users, I will say it's very important because it's very important to see what's happening on your server, right? So you will have all the like, okay, my brother connected at this time and played this movie. Now I know everything about the life of my users, but at the same time, if you are giving access to your server, it's very important to have all the details and know what's happening on the server. So you have all the activities here, the latest news from Emby, directly Emby website, your different path, because you need to know where is your cache, your logs, your metadata, and your transcoding temporary files, because Emby is working in different ways. Okay, if the devices doesn't have the good bandwidth, if the devices are not able to handle correctly, I would say a big video or something like that. Emby server is able to direct playing if everything is working well. So it will direct play the movie or the TV shows. It could direct stream. So basically, direct stream is like you are on iOS. It's not really true today because now all the iOS and Apple OS and iPad OS MB version have the MPV libmpv included and routed into the different apps. So it's not really true, but before it was able to direct stream. So basically extracting what is contained into an MKV file because the iOS wasn't able to play directly an MKV file, so it was extracting on the fly the MP4 content because it's able to read MP4 content in H264 and 65. So you have this second option, and the third option is like transcoding. Transcoding is CPU expensive, super expensive on the CPU side. But now Emby is able to use some transcoding components directly on. It could be on your CPU, it could be on your GPU. So Emby is able to use some different materials to enable a better transcoding and something more smooth. It wasn't the case several years ago, but today Emby is able to do that. So I'm going into settings. Settings here, you will have your preferred display language. If you want the server run at startup, launch the Emby web app in my web browser when Emby server starts. So it's a no-brainer here. It's very easy to understand what's happening there. If you don't want the default cache path, you can change it here. You want to automatic updates, so enable automatic server updates and allow the server to restart automatically to apply updates. Normally, I am not using that because I prefer to update my Docker because I am using Docker on the CentOS. But basically, I think it will just wait for no connection, no streaming at all before restarting the server. But usually I'm not using that. If you want to use a login disclaimer or a custom CSS that will be applied directly in the web interface, you can do it here. The users. So basically you can have different options for the users. I would just have a user name, my browser, okay? So you can specify an Emby Connect username or email address. So it will be very easy for, I will say for your brother in that case, for your brother to connect through the Emby the Emby Connect username. But we won't use that. So you can allow this user to manage the server if you want. If you want someone else to manage your server, but be careful because it could be a very quickly a big mess. If you want to ask a friend or your brother to manage your server because you don't have all the time needed to manage it, it's something that you can do. And enable access to all libraries. So if I uncheck that, I can select the libraries I want the user to be able to access to. And so I am creating it. So you have a lot of other options. It's a lot customizable. So you will be able to say allow remote connections, allow this user to manage the server. You can give access to the features like the DVR, like allowing live TV access, recording management, the media playback. You can allow the media playback, requiring transcoding. That's what I said before because it's super CPU intensive. So maybe you don't want to allow this user to use that because you know that this user has a very bad bandwidth and it will transcode everything every time. Depending on the bitrate also of your different movies and TV shows. So allow audio playback, video, and video playback requiring conversion with after encoding. So this one is like the direct streaming, what I was mentioning before. You can have a max simultaneous video streams also. This option is very good because you can say, okay, I'm giving access to my brother finally, but I don't want my brother to give. Usually, if it's your brother, you trust him, but if it's a friend, for instance, and you give the access to your server through a specific account. You can say this account I just want one simultaneous video streams because I don't want him to share the account and to have like 10 people connecting with the same account. So it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, you can have your brother because you want to give an account to your brother and your brother is using your Emby server to connect for him and his wife and his kid at the same time. So you want to say, okay, I will give him a free simultaneous concurrent video playback sessions at the same time. If you want to limit also the bitrate, let's say, because Emby server is using, it's like Plex, okay? So to stream, it's using your upload bandwidth. So if you have like a 10 megabits second bandwidth, you want to say, okay, I will give this guy only 5 megabits second because without that, you will consume all your bandwidth very quickly. And it will stutter a lot on the other side because your brother will just buffering will be just buffering. You can allow media deletion from. I don't recommend it, especially if it's not an account that is managing your Emby server. So I don't recommend it. You can have the remote control. So the guy will be able to remote control other users if you check this checkbox. And he will be able to allow remote control of shared devices. I don't recommend that. This one, I don't recommend that because if you are doing that, it will be able to remote control shared devices, excepting if you want to give the possibility to cast on a remote client like Google Chromecast. So you have to check this one. But without that, I don't recommend that. The download also, because you will be able to download to be able to smoothly play a video, or you can download on iOS, any client finally. It could be useful for iOS if you want to pre-download the movie or the TV show on your iPhone or Android device. It's very useful. So you can allow that or not here. For the subtitle, it's the same. Sorry, it's the same here. You can allow the media conversion. So if you want to convert the media before playing it, the social media sharing, let's say, oh, I am playing this wonderful movie on this server and you want to share it on Facebook or whatever. Allowing the fact that you can change the password, the profile image, because you can have this, you can have a complete, I will say, management of this kind of stuff. You can disable the user temporarily, hide this user from login screens on the local network. So if I am connecting from a device on the local network, I will be able to see this guy here. And by default, you can hide this guy when other people are connecting from outside. And I recommended it because it's improving a lot the security. So I will click on save. Here I have also the access. So the library access I can allow or not allowing, enable it or disable it. You can also say, I don't want this guy to be able to play from all devices, and I want him to be able to play from a specific device. So basically, we have all the devices appearing here, and you can say only from the iPhone, for instance. So it's very useful. The parental control is very important when you have kids, for instance. So you can say Here, the maximum allowed parental rating, and also you can block items with no or unrecognized rating information, because sometimes you can get the rating information on a specific movie or TV show, because not a lot of people have the information on that, or it's a very old movie or something else, and you don't have any information even on IMDb, which is a very big website. And let's say it's super violent movie that doesn't have any rating. So you want Emby to say, no, I'm not showing this movie because I don't have the information, and I have a doubt about this movie, so I won't show it. You can block also, you can have some tags on different movies, like very tough movies or whatever, depending on what you are looking for. And you can say, okay, I'm tagging this movie. I have two movies very violent, for instance, I don't know. I will have a specific tag, and the tag could be used to retrieve the different movies, because on MB after you will have some sort of filter, and you will say, okay, show me all the movies with the tag violent, for instance. But you can say also to block the item or allow only the item with these tags. So let's say you want to share with this user only, I would say one movie, because you don't want to give access to all of your library. And the guy said, "Oh, I want to watch Badass 2, for instance." So you will have the ability to say, "I tag Badass 2 with the tag brother, for instance," and you will say, "Allow only," and you add the tag browser. So your brother will be only able to see and to watch Badass 2. And you have the access schedule. Also, you can define an access schedule. Let's say, okay, for my browser, I will give him the access from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And after that, no way, because I want to preserve my bandwidth, for instance. It's like something that you can do. So I save it. Okay. And the password, you can modify the password. What is very important also here is that you can edit the user profile image and personal information of your browser or any accounts here. You can say, I want to display here. So you have a lot of information here: the daytime local, the theme that the account will use, automatic season themes is like when you want to basically to automatically apply some themes on that, like the Halloween. So the theme Halloween will be applied on that. Enable the backdrops, displaying the background of the library. Enable theme songs, theme videos, and display missing episodes within season. So if you want to say, okay, I have these missing episodes, it's not downloaded, but it's coming, it will be displayed into the TV shows also. The home screen, so you have the possibility to define all the sections you want MB to display, and the order of them. The library order, as I said, you want to display the in-home sections such as latest media and continue watching. Yes or no. You want to hide or not the content that you already watched. And usually for the movies and for the TV shows, I prefer to see the suggestions appearing first. So I am doing that. For the playback, you have a lot of options here, like the preferred audio language. When you have a movie with different languages, you will be able to say, okay, I prefer the French, I prefer the Spanish, I prefer the Japanese one. And MB will be automatically playing this movie or these TV shows with the one you specified here. Here you have the option to say play default audio track regardless of language. So it will only take the default audio track. And for the advanced here, you have the play next episode automatically for the TV shows, and enable next video information during playback. So at the end of of an episode, it will show a little splash at the bottom of the screen. saying, okay, this episode is coming. So let's say you are watching the first episode of a TV show. It will say, okay, the second episode is titled that. The duration will be that, and you will have the description. And you will have two options like play right now or hide the splash screen. And enable the are you still watching prompt, so it will prevent playback from continuing indefinitely by periodically prompting for user input. It's very useful, especially if you are sleeping, right? If you are sleeping and the different episodes are just playing automatically, you will lose a lot of watching time because you're sleeping. So it's preventing that to lose all this episode watching. For the subtitle, the preferred subtitle language is like the movie, the audio language we saw before. The subtitle mode is like you have the smart only forced subtitle, always play subtitles and not subtitles. Usually I am using the only forced subtitles. I'm just giving you an advice here because um, I want to use the forced subtitles because the forced subtitles are just appearing at some very specific points into the movie or into the TV show, because it's very important to have a specific subtitle there. But you can have different options and for the subtitle to play automatically. You will be able to customize your subtitles. It's very cool on your different client devices. The text size, text color, and drop shadow. So it's very cool. So my profile is like if you want to upload a new image, I won't do that because it's very straightforward and I think you understand what's the purpose of this. You can change your password also and you can sign out. So I modified some information of this user account and now it's appearing here. If you are putting some profile picture, they will appear here wonderfully in a wonderful manner. If you want to support the MD team, you have, I won't talk about it, but you have different options like subscriptions, monthly, yearly, for the different quarters or whatever. I don't know exactly because I purchased already the lifetime license, but if you want to have the MB Premiere, it will give you the capacity to use MB server and the different clients really better than without the subscription. Your different libraries here, you can modify the information we saw when we created the different libraries. The preferred metadata language here, at this time it's not possible to have different metadata languages. I hope this feature will come soon to be able to say, okay, I want to download like the English metadata and the French metadata, and depending on the language of the different users connecting, it will adapt itself to the metadata, the corresponding metadata. Like if I am a French guy, I will have all the description and title and everything in French. And if I am an Anglophone guy, I will have all the English um, displayed by default. So for the advanced section here, it's that when you have a new content, like a new movie, a TV show, it will use it will use, depending on the option you are using, it will use the file creation date or the date scanned into the library, depending on what you want. It doesn't matter. It will add the I will say the movie or the TV show automatically. The metadata path, if you want to have another location for the downloaded artwork and metadata, if you're not saving metadata and images directly into the libraries, you can save the metadata hidden. You can embed the track title display, so it will generate a user-friendly titles using track information, or you can prefer the embedded titles. Display specials within seasons they aired in. So if you are checking this checkbox, basically, and you have a TV show with specials episode, it will be displaying all these episodes into the different seasons. If you are unchecking that, it will just display it into the special bucket. So you will have the special bucket, season 1, season 2, season 3, and it will appear only in special. Enable external content in suggestions, like if you have the trailers, I will give you the example of the trailer, but if you have like trailers plugin installed, it will display basically all the trailers into the suggestions of your different movies. Because when you are going on movies and you have different movies, it will suggest you to watch other movies. Like Badass 2, it will suggest you to watch Badass, the first one. But here, if you have the trailer plugin installed, it will also populate all the information. If you are checking this checkbox, it will also populate this section with the trailers of Badass One or another Schwarzenegger movie, because it's like the same kind of jar. So it will show you like Terminator or something like that, but the trailers, so it's something that can be useful if you are using that. The network side, maybe I will do a specific video for that, because according to me, in my opinion, it's a little bit tricky, and it depends on what you want to achieve here. But basically, you can define some LAN networks, bind to local network address. You have the possibility to change the default HTTP and HTTPS port number. You can allow remote connection to this server if you don't want. You can say, okay, it's only local. You can whitelist some IP addresses. You have also the public HTTP and HTTPS port, so it's very complex, not complex, but you have a lot of customization there. So you can have a SSL certificate for the HTTPS access. You can use an external domain also. You can define the secure connection mode. And also the enable automatic port mapping that we had before, max simultaneous video streams. If you want to limit the number of concurrent video playback sessions, not only for a specific user, but for all users connecting at the same time. So it's very useful. And also limit the internet bitrate, limit the internet streaming bitrate limits. Limit the internet streaming bitrate, not only for a specific user, but also for all users connected at the same time. So it's applying for all them. The transcoding, I don't know why it's written that transcoding, but it's the transcoding section here. You will be able to say, I want to use my hardware acceleration if you have one, because maybe you don't have any, but today you can have some of them. You can say yes, no. In some circumstances with some different clients, the streaming could be not working correctly with hardware acceleration activated. It's not the fault of Emby server. It's like just the way it's the hardware acceleration material is handling the stream, and it's trying to direct stream or transcode the stream. So you can say yes, no, or advanced. If you are going on advanced, you will be able to say, I prefer these hardware decoders. You can have the DirectX 11VA AMD Radeon. So it seems that it's what I am using right now. I'm pretty sure it's not a good chipset, because I don't have a very good, I would say, video card on this computer, but you can also use the VC1 AMD Radeon. So Emby server will be able to check your material to say, hey, I detected that you have this hardware decoder possibility, and we'll be able to use it when it's trying to transcode. But you have the more popular one are the decoding from Intel chipset, and also the GPU from the GeForce GTX and things like that. So all the NVIDIA chipsets. So for the purpose of this test, I would say yes. You can say I want to use the transcoding thread count 1 here. So it will use only one core of your CPU, one thread of your CPU. The transcoding temporary path. You can enable the throttling. I would say definitely I would use the throttling, because the throttling is like, if you're not enabling the throttling, the whole video will be transcoding one shot. If you are using the throttling, it's very good because your CPU will be in sensitivity, will be very heavily used at the beginning of the transcoding, and after that it will reduce a lot because the transcoding files will be already on your hard drive. So they will be read from directly from the transcoding directory. So I would say I would enable this, especially if you have like 2 or 3 simultaneous transcoding people streams, I would say. So it's very important. You can have an audio boost when down mixing. You can specify the H264 encoding preset. And you have also the H2 264 encoding CRF, allows subtitle extraction on the fly. So it's something that is also possible. For the conversions, depending on what you have converted or not, because you can go on a movie, on a TV show and say, I want to convert them. You will have all the lists appearing here and the different settings here. So the temporary file path, the upload speed limit, and the transcoding thread count to enable the conversion. Cinema and show is like something that I won't mention here a lot, but just an overview of the stuff. It's like the cinema intros is like, if you want to play a trailer at the beginning just before launching a movie, for instance, you will be able to say, I want to play the introduction, and you will have a sort of trailer. It's not a real trailer, but it's something that Emby is looking through its internal trailer plugin. So it will be able to play the trailer before playing the movie. It's something that some people like. So I will let you choose on that one. I'm not using it personally, but I let you choose. To enable the NFO metadata, you can use different options there to specify if you want to save images path within the NFO files when you are using the NFO metadata file format. If you want, because you can download a lot of subtitles when you have an account on Open Subtitle. It's not the case if you are not a member, so you will have to wait for a long time to have all your movies downloading the subtitles if you don't have any account. So it's better to, if you have an account, to fill it here. The webhooks, so Emby is able to work as a webhooks application. So basically it will provide some APIs to be able to be consumed, and basically to be able to add some home automation, for instance, like you can set up to when you start a movie, you can say to Emby to call a specific API, and this API will shut down the light, for instance, turn off the light. So it's could be very useful. I didn't try it. Your devices here, you will have the list of all your devices here. The downloads also. So if you downloaded some, I will say some movies on your different devices like iOS or Android devices, it will be very useful. The camera upload, because you have a section directly in Emby that's created when you, I think, when you install a new server from scratch. You will be able to have a section camera upload, and from your iOS and Android devices, every time you take a picture, you will be able to upload. It will dynamically upload it to the camera upload section or library, and all your friends, brother, and people who have access to your MB server will be able to watch the movies or pictures you are uploading. Dlna, so you will be able to use the Dlna Play 2. That is a specific protocol that is used to play on different devices that are supporting them. You can have some profiles for the Dlna also, but everything is basically here if you want to use them. The live TV and DVR, I won't show you how it works, but basically you can use your MB server as a DVR, and it will be able. But I'm not using this system, so I won't do a video specifically for that, and I won't be able to explain you how it works. But basically, you can have your DVR, and MB will be able to get the guide, and to be able to record automatically, and you can program everything. So it will be able to record different, um, I would say, different program on different channels automatically, and to store them into MB servers. For the advanced section, I won't spend a lot of time on that, but basically you have access to logs, notifications, plugins, scheduled tasks, API keys if you want to give access, and the Metadata Manager. So just a quick overview of that. Notifications, that is what you can have as a notification into the MB server, and we will see in another video. Sorry, we will see that it's notifications that you can use as push notification on your iOS or Android devices. It's very useful. So basically, especially this kind of stuff, because you will be able to receive a push notification on your mobile device saying, "Hey, my brother is starting playing Badass 2." So it's very useful to say, "Okay, you played that," So it's very interesting. The plugin section, I think I will do another video to present you some of the most important plugins you can use with the MB server. The schedule tasks, so the application, the MB server is scheduling some tasks like refreshing the metadata, scanning your libraries, downloading subtitles, refreshing people, things like that. So it's doing this on a recurring time. The API keys, like if you want to use some third-party applications and softwares, you can use these sections to create an API key to access your MB server, and to be able to get through the APIs of MB to get some sort of information and automation. And you have the Metadata Manager, because you can go here on a specific movie or TV show. You can modify the information here. You have a lot of information that you can change. You can add a tag like browser, the example I took before, save. And if you are going into movies and saying, okay, now I have a filter here, and I want to see only browser tag, you can apply just by doing that, and it will filter only. So we didn't have any change here because it was already here. This movie was already here. But let's say I have Badass 1 and Badass 2. It will display only Badass 2 because I have a filter saying I want only the tags brother. So it will display only Badass 2. So it's my first tutorial on the Emby server. I wanted to show you basically and give you an overview of the different options you have on Emby. And I hope it wasn't too long, but I wanted to cover the maximum here. I will do some other videos, maybe small videos, about how MBs is able to display your different movies in TV shows and the different filters. So basically the navigation through the different clients. I will show you through the browser because basically it's the same way of navigating through the different devices, iOS, Android, smart TV, and whatever. So they tried, and I think they succeed in that. They try to offer the same navigation and the same, I would say the same way of going to your movies and um, being able to list all your stuff into the MB servers, all the items there, and they succeed in giving you the same way of navigating through the all MB clients and basically all the MB devices, possible devices you can stream to. So I hope you enjoyed this first video, and in the next video, I will show you a lot of stuff. I have the plugins, I have the networks, the network section also. And I have stuff like this, like play on. So I don't have any devices to play on, but if you have some devices dynamically connecting to the same network, it will show you here the different devices you can play to. It could be a Chromecast, it could be a Fire TV, it could be things like that. So it will be very useful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I think I have very good stuff going on and coming on my channel. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.